Time to talk Royals now. One of our favourites to do so is none other than the great Angela Levin. She literally wrote the book on Harry, on Camilla, and so much more. She joins us from the UK right now. Lovely to see you, Angela.
Lovely to be here.
So Harry and Meghan go back to New York, but it's not quite as exciting or headline grabbing as it was the last time they went and made up stuff.
Yeah, but it was even more stupid because they went there to be part of World Mental Health Day, right? But they didn't just arrive. Meghan looked as if she'd been half wrapped up in a sort of in a puzzle, in a sort of parcel. She looked so peculiar in what she was wearing that it was laughable. It was some sort of joke. But the other thing is that they got 7 SUV cars, no police with it, but 7 cars that went round one very, very small block. So you could have run it in a couple of minutes. But they did that just to create some sort of wow, here comes somebody. But it was very interesting because the people who were there were only really interested in Harry. She forgets that. She thinks she's the only one that matters. But actually, there's still a residue of people being interested in Harry. And when she was talking, people kept passing it over to Harry. But then he made an absolute colossal error because he was talking about social, right? On the television, talking of radio, how to deal with it and all the advertising there. And he said that it's very important that he was there to teach people like farmers and people who lived out in the country who would have no idea how to deal with social planning or anything like that. So that is why he was there. Well, apparently there was a big row about that because that's very rude. And people who choose to become have a farm aren't actually stupid in any way. Lots of farming now is done electrically and gadget-wise and all that sort of thing. So it wasn't a very happy day. And they went off again, and then they then took a holiday, yet another holiday. Now, Meghan is the one who is the world's great mother. She said the main thing, she said it to Oprah Winfrey, and she's repeated it many, many times. The most important title for me is being known as Mom. And I love my children. Oh, Mom. But of course, she's off on holiday all the time. After she did the Invictus Games, she went off and spent several days away. And then after this, they went off to an island and spent several days there too. So this nonsense about how wonderful she is as a mother is ridiculous because most mothers who really care about their children want to whiz back. They want to do their work and then come right back. But Meghan's always sort of off. Very peculiar.
But let's talk about this. Isn't this the couple that, of course, so committed to climate change, yet they hire 7 SUVs, not to go from one side of the city to the other, not to drive them from the airport to the hotel, but to literally go around the block to make it look like they were in a presidential motorcade?
Yes, that's right. And it wasn't presidential because there were no police. The police weren't going to give them the protection. So they just do it in a phony way. That's why actually they're becoming more and more ridiculously funny because they seem to do these things when they're telling people what to behave. I mean, Meghan was saying what she wanted to do in this mental health day was that to help bring the parents together so that they talk, we can help you, and it'll all be, fine. Well, if you think how she's dealt with Harry's grandparents, Harry's parents, his brother, his sister-in-law, and they're the people who you should listen to about making good results when you're with people that you know. I mean, it's absolutely breathtaking, isn't it? Absolutely breathtaking.
Well, let alone her own relationship with her own family. Literally, you can count on, a couple of fingers, let alone one hand, the relationships that she's got in her own birth family. Instead, the great love is for people who happen to have, 1 million or more followers on Instagram.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's really just one. You're exaggerating if you're saying two. It's one. It's her mother. And then her mother does what she's told, and that's it. But she doesn't see her father. She hasn't seen any of her other relations or half brothers or half sisters. She's not interested in that. And in fact, ironically, this trip they went to this little island, it's for billionaires who want to get away from millionaires. So it would have pleased Meghan enormously that she could actually reach that title. But more and more people who are billionaires or even millionaires are dropping them because, they're no longer interesting. They can see through them. And they really don't want to. The sort of gloss has gone. But in this picture of Meghan and Harry walking along in obviously blue skies and blue seas nearby, they weren't really holding hands. They had their hands across each other, but that bit like that as they were walking along. And it was very weird. They thought it was photographed, especially because it didn't work, because there was nobody there. There was no protection officers, and there was not a single person walking around down this long street, just the two of them all alone with their back to the subjects. I think that was just a joke, because any old way they can get a bit of publicity, it's a joke. But it was a very peculiar thing to see people sort of holding hands when not holding hands at all. But, you get fed up with it. Just get on with your life and stop making sure that you've got some piece of paper telling the world all about you, because we're really no longer interested.
And you're so correct too about how patronising it is for Harry to say, oh, he's the one who's going to help teach people in rural areas about social media, about the consequences of social media. Again, for want of a better term, who died and made him king? But the ability to put himself at the heart of everything, and the arrogance to suggest that this boy of absolute privilege, who let's put the kindest way we could put on it, who made a decision to walk away from royal life, how would he possibly know what the social media or mental health struggles are of people that work harder than he ever has in his entire life?
Well, even if he's trying to teach people about social media, he's got no experience because he doesn't really do it himself. He makes it up. He hasn't got all that experience. And actually, he's very troubled mentally. So it's not work for him. It is absolutely absurd. But what's interesting is that just this evening it's come out that Harry wants to buy a house in London, right? This is about the fourth or fifth time we heard that they want to buy a house somewhere or other. I think it's just a way, again, of getting themselves on, front page. But he wants to come back and bring the children back. And he won't ask his father if he can have anything that's royal, but what he wants to do is to have his own home so he can be in London. Meghan, they admit, is not very keen on that. So in other words, she's not going to come. But are they together? Are they apart? We don't know. That changes. 1 minute they're all lovey-dovey, the next they don't see each other and do very different things. So this is the latest thing, and I think it's a very dangerous thing if they do let him come and live here, because I think they're very skiving. Have to be careful a bit, but I think they're very skiving. And they, if they hear that William and Catherine are doing something on one day, they'll probably try and do it the day before, or more gallantly or something like that. And I think that they will find lots of information going out because they haven't anymore. They haven't come over. Nobody talks to them except about the English weather. And so they can't really sell it. So I think if they get their own home, if they can afford it, then they feel that they can settle down. But there's loads of things. What do you do with the children? Are they going to be taught in the UK? Are they going to be taught in America? Will the King and Queen want to see them? Who knows? But will he get protection? Who knows? But it's just a sort of ridiculous thing to launch at the end of the day and make everybody think, oh yes, he's going to come over here. I don't personally think it's got any truth in it, but you never know. You never know with him.
Now, for most people, if you were ever able to luckily land on a job or a couple of jobs or a couple of gigs or in the space of a couple of years be able to earn literally tens of millions of pounds, that'd probably be enough for all of us for the rest of our lives. But clearly, they think there's some more money to squeeze here because Meghan's got a brand new agent. I noticed that Harry doesn't as either.
Yes. Yeah. Meghan's got this new agent, William Morris, and they find all these gigs for her to do. And I think they keep her in the papers as much as they can. But Harry is just dragged along because they know that people are interested in Harry, but he's not paid at all for anything. So he's going along. He must have his tail between his legs because it's not exactly very nice. Because Meghan called him this one rather than my husband or Harry. I think it's rather a rude thing to say when you're out, oh, this one. But Meghan is the one who's earning the money, but only because she has to go first. If you see her shaking hands and Harry is going towards someone, indeed the person's going towards Harry, she pushes him out the way because she has to be there first. I'm picking up the money. I want to shake someone's hands first. I think it's now getting really unpleasant because all these nonsense, all the hypocrisy, all the silly behaviour with 7 cars when you don't need more than one. Oh, you could actually whiz round. Catherine and William actually, I think, went by train when they were going to talk about mental health. So, you don't have to do it like that. There are not thousands of people who are waiting for you so they can pounce. It's you creating all the hoo-ha around them. And people just really don't want to know. They haven't got much to do. We were told Meghan was going to do a film, but only with top first grade A producers. Have we heard any more? No, we haven't. Her book, memoirs, has that come out yet? No, it hasn't. There's a problem there because she wants to moan about how awful her time was with the royal family. But if she does that, she's going to be in a negative pot. And her new PR people want her to be up and bright and isn't the word lovely. So, it's a big mess.
Yeah, they find
Where are the children? Where are the children? Where are the children?
Well, remember, he was late to this and that and the other because I was making sandwiches and making milkshakes and all this other crap. Thank you for the relief from an otherwise bleak world at the moment. Thank you very much, Angela. We look forward to talking to you again very soon. Wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you.